Okay, in your notebooks, you should have some things written down for me. You should have lesson 1, 2, words and expressions in your table of contents. So make sure you get that done. And then you need to find your next page. And you need to make sure you have this written in that first page. What did you put? Expressions in words? What did you put? Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. And then once you're done doing that, if you have a second, we took some notes on the four-step problem-solving process yesterday. Who remembers one of the steps? Logan? Explore. That's the first thing you should do. Give me another one, Emily. Plan. AB? Oh, bummer. Harley? Solve. And Hannah? Examine. 4 steps. Remember, did we talk about having a fire drill yesterday and having to get out? Okay. So today, we are talking about words and expressions. So the first vocab word I have for you today is expression. And this is a mathematical phrase that can be made up of variables, numbers, and operations. And we'll talk about that in a second after you get it all written down. Okay, so what's a variable? What's a variable? A letter. A letter. Can it change? Yeah, it can change. It can change. Numbers, that's a given. What's an operation? What is it? What do I mean by operation? No. John? Nope. Yes. Like. Okay, so like what would be like addition? Okay, so an operation would be like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. That would be considered an operation. Okay, so like something that looks like this. 4 plus 3 times 5, this is considered an expression. This could also be considered an expression. 4v plus 9, that's an expression. Anything that has a letter, a variable, and an operation can be considered an expression. And then the last vocabulary word I have for you is evaluate. Evaluate means solve. So many times in your directions, in your book, it's going to say evaluate the expression. That just means solve the expression. So if it says evaluate, don't come and ask me what it means. It just means to solve it. To find the answer. Can I go to the next slide? Okay, so another thing that you probably talked about last year a little bit, and I think we talked a little bit about last year, was the order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay, do you remember that? Yeah, you're going to need to write this down. But you can do it in a different way if you want. We can do it in a different way. I can draw it differently if you'd rather draw it differently. So what I think we did last year, we made the boxes, and some of you found that really, please excuse, and then we did this. My dear Aunt Sally. Okay, so let me explain this. P stands for what? Parentheses. Parentheses should always be done first. That's why it's at the top. Okay. The next one is exponents. That's the second thing that should be done. What is an exponent? What's an exponent? A little number? Okay, we'll talk about that more later. We really don't do a lot with exponents today. And then this is the one that's really tricky for everybody. It's these two, multiplication and division. A lot of people think, well, if multiplication comes first, because it says it's called, please excuse my, see how the M comes first? A lot of people think automatically you do multiplication first. That's not true. Multiplication and division, if they're in a problem, they're just done from left to right. So maybe you just want to make like an arrow. It doesn't matter. Division could come first. It doesn't matter. But you're just going from left to right. So like, for example, if you have this, okay, if I do that, what comes first? The division, because we're going from left to right. Do you have multiplication and division in that? Yeah, so you're just going to go from left to right. Does not matter what comes first. Same thing with addition and subtraction. They just go from left to right. So if I would have something like this. In this case, you're going to do the subtraction first because you're just going from left to right. Exponent. Exponent. It looks like this. It's like 2 to the 4th power. That's my exponent. Does anybody have questions on this? Does everybody kind of remember this from last year just a little bit, or remembers talking about it at least? Okay. And then I'm going to add something to this. Sometimes you see brackets in these types of problems. The brackets, you do everything inside the brackets first, okay? And they're kind of like another set of parentheses. And we'll do a couple examples so you can see them. Okay, go to the next one. Yes, ma'am? Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Okay? Okay, so let's try a few. Let's try a few. Let's just try this one together first. So, oh, that's a bad arrow. Wow. We'll do this one first. So, according to that, I have 5 on the outside, and then in my parentheses I have 5 plus 9. What's the thing I have to do first? According to order of operations, parentheses, right? Is that what you were going to say? So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Do this in steps, please. Please do this in steps. Don't skip ahead and show your steps. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do 14, right? Because 5 plus 9 is 14. I'm going to keep that in parentheses. Now my 5 is on the outside. My last thing, Lauren, I'm going to multiply. Let's see. This is going to be 70. Now, Lydia just said, I don't know what it means when you just have a number in parentheses by itself. Something like this is what you mean. What operation is that when I have a number in parentheses? And it's just like this, and I don't have anything in between? It means to multiply. Okay? It means to multiply. So that's just another way of multiplication. Remember, you can see multiplication different ways. You can see it with this sign, you can see it with the dot, and you can see it with just parentheses, remember? So those are 3 ways you're going to see multiplication. All right, let's look at the next one up here. 4 plus 5 times 5. What if I would do 4 plus 5 first? Not right. Because what do I have to do first? Multiply. So let's do that first. 25. Then I have 4 plus 25. Do you see how I'm writing this in steps? Okay, so please do that. Please write them in steps. Do one thing, then bring everything down. Do the next thing, then bring everything down. They're pretty simple right now because they're pretty easy, but once we get over here, it's going to be a little more difficult. Then after that, 29 is going to be my answer. I'm going to circle it. Okay. Then we're going to do this one. I'm just going to bring this whole thing over here so we have some room. 2, parentheses 6 plus 4 minus 3 times 5. First thing I'm going to do, somebody I haven't heard from yet. John, 6 plus 4. So I'm going to rewrite everything for myself because, to me, I can see everything better when I do that. Okay? Now what am I going to do? Olivia? I can do either one first, can't I? They're both multiplication, so we're going to do both of them. So this is going to be 20 minus 15. Now I only have one thing left. And I'm subtracting, I get 5. Okay. Does everybody kind of remember this a little bit from last year? Okay, you know what? In 8th grade math, it's really, really important to know how to do this. We're doing this literally the second day of class. That means you're going to carry this throughout the rest of the year. Okay, so that's why it's so important. All right, here's another one. This is the only time ever that there's an exception to please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. This is the only time ever there's an exception. What operations do you see in this problem, Olivia? And divide. According to please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, what should you do first? Divide. Do I have anything to divide, really? So this is the only time ever you can break this rule. You have to do the addition and subtraction first, and then you can divide. Okay? So let's see. 53 plus 15 would be 68, correct? 17 minus 13 would be 4, and then you can divide. Okay, so this is the only time ever you can change, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Yep, I'll wait. Is it 17? Okay. Done, Mr. Budden? Okay. All right, so here's one I was talking about before. What's different than this you've ever seen before? Yes, ma'am. Yep. There's brackets in here. Here's the thing about brackets. Brackets are like another set of parentheses. You do everything in the brackets first. That means you deal with this 4 completely at the end. Okay? Completely at the end. So, what am I going to do first inside these brackets? Lauren? Nope. Well, you could do that first, but what are you supposed to do first? 8 times 2, because that's multiplication inside those brackets. Okay, so, all right, let's do that. 16. Remember, these brackets are staying. And then 15 minus 9, which would be technically your second thing, which should be 6. My brackets are staying. Notice they don't move, and 4 is still on the outside. Then what am I going to do? I have to do what's still inside the brackets still first. So I'm going to add them. I get 22. Still in brackets. They act like parentheses. Now what am I going to do with that 4? Now I'm going to multiply. So that 4 is the last thing, or whatever number is out there, that's the last thing you do. Are some of you writing down some notes? Are you writing down some examples? Because you're going to need them. All right, let's see. Let's do this one on your own. Do this one on your own. I forgot I'm not connected. I know. Remember, do one step at a time. Make it easy for yourself. Sometimes if you do a lot of steps at once, you're going to get confused and you're not going to get the correct answer. One step at a time. That's what's nice about using a notebook this year is you actually have lines for your assignment, so you can do a step a line. you confident? Are you? All right. Anybody need another second? I'll give you another second. Hmm? Hmm? No, I just let it play. Okay, Virginia, first thing you did. Okay, so Virginia did 4 plus 6, and she got, let's see, 4 plus 6 is 10, minus 7 times 7. Next thing I should do. I can do 7 times 7, and I could do 5 times 10. It doesn't matter. So let's see. I'll do 50, and this is 49. You should have gotten 1 as an answer. Okay? All right. We're not done yet, ladies and gents. In your notes, you need to write down this as well, because this is going to help you in your homework today. Okay? So let's talk about addition. What are some words that you know that mean addition, except for add? Some. Olivia. Plus. What? What's the matter? Oh, I thought you were plus. What else? Sure. I would take that. What else? John? Total. Okay. There's another big one I'm thinking of. Starts with an I. Increase. Make sure you get some of these written down, because some of these are going to be in your homework today. Okay, so let's go to subtraction. John? Okay, can I say, like, take away? Taken away. What else? Yes, Trinity. Minus. What? Decrease. You're missing a big one. What? What's the answer called to a subtraction problem? This the what? Not some. We did that one already. Starts with the D. That doesn't start with the D. Difference, people, the difference. Jeez, we would have sat there all day. All right, keep going. Keep going. No. Well, we're going to stop for that. Okay, multiplication. Times. Yes, say it louder, Carter. Product. So times and product. No, there's a few more. Yeah, you could do multiply. It's kind of a given. If you would say doubled, because that's like multiplying by 2. Tripled, right? No. 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 So no, like doubled, tripled, that could also be known as multiply. Okay? What about division? No. Oh, of would be multiplication. I forgot about of. That's a good one. Division? What's the answer to a division problem? Logan? Yes. Another one for these could be like divided by, or like, or divided into 2 halved, taken by half. I don't know. That's about it for divide. That's pretty easy. Okay, now let me show you how we're going to use this. Okay, so what they're going to do is they're going to give you an actual sentence, and you have to put it into an expression, okay, using what they give you. Ready, Mr. Budden? All right, so 5 multiplied by 3. Well, that's easy. This is what it looks like. Okay, this is where it gets a little trickier. Okay, where they actually give you a scenario and you have to put it into an expression. Okay, so the number of apples you have if you start with 10 and eat 2. What does that look like? If I'm going to figure that out, what does it look like? 10 minus 2. Okay, not hard. Okay, so the next one, the total length of songs. If there are 3 songs and each song is 4 minutes long, how am I going to figure how many? 3 times 4. 3 times 4. Okay. Okay. So does everybody see how we're going to use this? Yeah. It depends what they say. They might say evaluate, or they might just say write it in an expression. Okay. I have too many people talking and doing their own thing. Okay, so here's an example of a story problem you're going to see. A pencil costs $1 and a notebook costs $2. Write an expression for the total cost when you buy 8 pencils and 13 notebooks. So forget about writing an expression. What would you do to solve this problem? Okay, so you know 1 times 8, because that tells you how much in pencils, right? And what was it, 2 times 13? And if you do what? You add them together, aren't you going to get how much? If you put that in there, you're going to you just wrote an expression. And then it might say solve. Yeah, that's all you're going to have to do. You just have to be paying attention to what things say. Okay? An adult ticket to the movies is $9. A student is 7. Write an expression for the total cost if 6 adults and 9 students are going to the movies. Do this by yourself, and I want you to solve it. Well, you pretty much write an expression when you solve it. So, show me what you're doing to solve. All right, so somebody tell me what you started doing to solve this problem. I don't want to know the answer, Kaylee. Just tell me what you started doing. Okay? Then what'd somebody else do? Emma? Okay. Then what did somebody do? Harley? Okay, you maybe did that, and then you maybe did this. Right? What'd you come up with an answer? What? Yeah, I'm asking what your answer is. Sorry. Oh, were you writing the whole thing, AB? Oh, you weren't. I'm sorry. I moved too fast. Just tell me to slow down next time. Tell me to slow down. Questions on how to do this? What were you doing today? Okay, let me see what else I have. Nothing. Very good. All right, so open your books, because let's talk about that.